Well, here we are again, back in Cornwall. We're in a lovely little beach called Perranporth. Last time I was there was just before COVID, and staying in one of the chains of the Daesh group with the hotel is there. Very reasonable, just over £100, and for about 4 nights, breakfast, evening meal, and able to use it as a base to travel around and see the coast. And yeah, so that was the last time I was at this beautiful spot and able to get material, some sketches, what have you, to work on. And so I'm looking for a bit of an atmospheric sky, something where we get these lovely evenings in Cornwall, lovely light. And let's see where we are here now, and I'm almost done with the sky. That's it. And with watercolour, as I said before, you've got to use plenty of water. Don't be afraid of it. And I got masking tape to stop it running down, and that'll be where the sea will be. So now I want reflection in the sand. And if you remember, I was saying before how I'm just wetting that a bit, but bring the reflection down this way then. So we got the yellows. So let's put them coming down that way. Then we got the reds. So just do it. I do this quite random, really, just so that you got the different colours in, and it gives the effect of the sky reflecting really in what is wet sand. And so I just got to add a bit of the blue now, and we'll just get that in here and there. And you'll see what will happen when I take this tape off. Now, that's more or less it, really. It's and then what I will do later, I'll get this reflecting in as well. But that's about as much as we can do in this session now. So what I need to do is get this tape off. I've got to be careful. The masking tape I'm using is that bit more sticky than normal. And what I tend to do, I put it on my clothes first, so it'll take a lot of the grip off. So then it's not as liable to tear the paper that's underneath. And how about that? Look, easy as that. Now it's a bit of fun. So there we go. That's the sky and the wet sand. Right, our next stage now. I put a bit of blue in the sea, just a bit of outline of the rock that's sitting out there. But now we'll come to what is very distinctive here now. And I suppose the real fun part of all this is getting the shape of this rock in here. And again, it's always wet in wet, where you drop colours in, and because it's more like a late evening sort of view, you'll have a bit of warmth in the colours, and so we need to get these in here. And so I'm just using my sketch as a basic outline. I'm not going to keep to it. It's just there as a rough guide. And it's at that stage now, what I'll do is get the blues in. And got to remember that all this will dry 50% lighter. Always got to remember that. And but then you can accentuate them. You can there we go. No, when I was down there last, we were staying in the hotel, as I was saying, and we took Gwyneth's sister with us, and then Gwyneth's got company. They can go out shopping or whatever. Well, I go along the coast and have the time to myself to get a bit of sketching and painting done, and everybody's happy. And that's just great. So we've always done it like that, and it's a bit boring for Gwyneth being out with me all the time, sketching and painting. And well, I always get referred to as he for a week. Where is he taking us today? And why has he got his head in a book? And you know, why won't he admit he's lost on his narrow lane? And we ought to be turning back. And I become he for a week. But there we go. I got quite used to that over the years. And now then, let's have a look. I get the sand in now. And so I'm going to brush some sand that's cutting across this. And so I'm working where that was coming down vertical. Now this is going horizontal, you see, and only for a little bit. I don't want to do too much of this or I'll lose the effect. So again, it's restraint all the time with watercolour, but I think that might just do it. And I'll leave it like that, I think. And then what I can do is drop a little bit of colour in here as well. I can drop, just so it's not boring, I can put a bit of colour in here as well. And all you've got to remember, everything dries that much later. And that's one of the problems when people first start painting with watercolour. It's too insipid and not bold enough. And now see, I can leave that like that. And then what I can do is, I'm soaking up this, or it'll run into cauliflowers. That part will dry for this and it'll draw the water back and create stains. And they're all just different things you get to know about and how to avoid. But you can just see roughly where I'm going. I'll come back on all this. But now what I want to do is get this reflecting down in here. Because this is like wet sand. This is going to be reflecting. But I don't want it a mirror of this. All the time you've got to think of just the suggestion of a reflection, basically. And that's it. And now, while we're working on that, this is the last bit now. Now I've got to use very, very strong paint now. Next to no water. Next to no water at all. And you'll see what will happen then. This will stay more or less where I put it. Can you see I'm getting a bit of definition in here now? And I can scumble it as well if I want. Like that. And that will, it's still wet enough to blend in. And create a bit of suggestion of rock. There we go. So that is just enough, I think. Just to suggest we got rock here. And I might come back and tidy up later. And what I might be able to do, if it hasn't dried too quickly yet, I might be able to just get a line. There we look at that now, see? I've taken the paint out of the brush like that. And the water. And so I'm using it like a sponge, basically. But it's creating... Look at that, see, that's more atmospheric there now, isn't it? And then what I could do, you got the water's edge here. So that will be very damp sand here. And then I get a clean brush. And then, again, just take that off to nothing on this side. And basically that's it. And you'll see how I tidy all this up in the finished painting. So there we go.